I often hear the term no uterus, no opinion. Do you concur? Do you agree with that?
Not 100%.
Okay.
Because it's like, I feel like a father should have rights. You know what I mean? And should have a say. Mm-hmm. I feel like ultimately, because it's a woman and her body, she should have the majority.
Wait, you said that you think fathers should have rights, but so if we're talking about abortion, so are you arguing that men should be able to compel women to get abortions?
It's kind of based. I'm just kidding. No, I think they should have a say. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean? How would a man have a say?
In the realm of like pro-life or pro-choice, I feel like they should have an opinion. I mean, not an overpowering opinion, not an opinion that overshadows.
But you specifically, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you specifically said men should have rights. Fathers should have rights.
Yeah, I feel like
related.
In terms of like to court and child support and just all of that nature, women usually do have like a benefit over that.
But I mean, since we're specifically talking about abortion, do you think men should be able to compel women to have abortions?
Compel them to?
Like, let's say she wants to keep the kid. He doesn't want to keep the kid. Should he be able to compel her to get an abortion?
No.
Oh, okay. Because you said like father's rights.
Yeah.
In the context of abortion, we could have a conversation.
If the father wanted to keep the child, then I say like.
Okay, so
he should be allowed.
There's a concept called legal paternal surrender, where after the child's born, or even before the child's born, the father can say, well, obviously he can't have a say in terms of compelling her to have the child, but he could say, well, I don't want any parental rights, and I don't want any financial responsibility or parental responsibility. And that's, it's a men's rights position, legal paternal surrender. So you're in favor of that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not, it's semi-related to the abortion issue, but it's not really central to it. Although I would certainly agree with you that, for example, in any state where abortion is legal, certainly there should be a corresponding legal paternal surrender where a man could say, well, if a woman has a right to murder the child, I ought to at least be able to do away with my parental responsibilities and obligations, so that when it comes to child support or any sort of parental responsibility, I think that's a fair position.
Is there like a certain cutoff? I know that abortion, there's like isn't there a time frame of when you can and can't get one? Do you support late term abortions? Is that what it's called when it's later on? Would you like support that or be an advocate for a late term abortion?
It's not my body. So pretty much it's not my choice to make. It's someone else's, and I don't think I should take that from someone.
Oh no.
I think. Oh yeah, that's. He was dropping. Okay, hold on. I'm going to look into that. Continue on with the conversation, guys.
If you had to say from your standpoint, though, if you had to make a cutoff of when you think is a reasonable time where it's no longer ethical to have an abortion, what would that cutoff be?
My whole stance is that I don't think it's my choice to make that for other people.
So if a woman was if a woman was in labor and she said, I want to kill this baby, you'd be okay.
No.
Okay, so what's the cutoff?
Then, labor is in process of giving birth.
What about a day before?
Yeah.
Yes.
You think that it's fine? Have you ever seen what it looks like?
Yeah.
An abortion taking place?
Yeah.
You have seen that? What does it look like?
There's different types of abortion. You can take the pill.
You think you can take a pill? No. In terms of a late-term abortion, like the day before, let's say. Do you know what that would look like?
I've seen what a full-term fetus looks like.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the baby a day before the woman goes into labor and then the woman's in labor? What's the difference between those children?
Why
does one get the right to life and the other one doesn't?
I just think it's prioritized until the child is born. I think you should prioritize the person bearing the child first. Their mental health, their body, everything.
But are you agreeing that there's another person involved?
Potentially there could be.
Potentially, or is there? Because if someone were to get killed, you wouldn't say potentially someone got killed. You'd be like, someone got killed. That's crazy.
Okay, then no.
So there is another person involved.
No.
So just to make both of your stances clear, you both don't think that, like, when do you think that the unborn becomes a person?
I would disagree with that. I am not as extreme in that way. I'm pro-choice, but I would say I used to be much more aloof with it. Like, anybody should be able to get an abortion, not at any time, but like in a reasonable amount of time, which I don't know exactly what that would be. And the more I listen to podcasts like this and other things that talk about this, I would say I completely agree that there needs to be like a serious cutback, and like you probably know the statistics of how much it happens. It's like crazy. It's probably like really out of control. And
what happens?
How much abortion happens. Like, I think that there's probably a lot of people using it as, a backup plan.
Birth control.
Exactly. And I don't agree with that. I do think that there's probably a lot of benefit to cutting it back.
If you had to say, when do you think that a human life becomes a human life?
That's tough. I would say it's pretty early for me. Like, I think, when it's just the first little cells that usually everyone talks about, like, I would say, yeah, that's reasonable. If you just found out you were pregnant.
What if I were to tell you that it's an unassailable scientific fact that a human life becomes a human life at the moment of conception?
That would be a claim that it's like hard for me to fully believe that. But if you like
propaganda's real. If
you could fully convince me of that, then yeah, I would say that
90% of biologists actually agree that life begins at conception. So if we're deciding when someone lives or dies, I think we have to have a definitive point. We can't just arbitrarily pick a point in pregnancy to decide whether someone has the right to life or not. And since biology does say fertilization is the start of life, it seems to me that that's the only like viable time we can say that that's when life begins. And therefore we must protect all life from the moment of conception all the way up until birth and afterwards too.
Seems like you're very open-minded about it, which is good. And I think that if you follow this path of logic, you'll eventually find yourselves with your back up against the wall, where you realize that it's not even scientifically contested with anybody who's worth their salt in the field of biology to say that human life doesn't begin at the moment of conception.